Hi everybody, it's Lee. If you're watching this, I'm assuming you already know that I am creatively known as Lee_ on Wattpad, the author of 7 books at the minute, as well as 2 in-progress works. I know that a while ago I've said that I have wanted to start doing more with my YouTube channel because I did a vlog of the London meetup a couple of weeks back and it actually turned out really well. I really enjoyed editing it. It turned out a lot better than I was expecting. So I came up with an idea and I wanted to do like a behind the scenes, I think that's probably what I'm going to call it, behind the scenes sort of series, potentially if it goes well, sort of 1 episode dedicated to each of my books. Like this one is going to be Vanilla. I mean, that's probably the one that you're most likely to have read. And just a little episode of like fun facts, a sneak peek into my planning process. Basically just general little things that you probably wouldn't have known from reading the book. Just a little fun series of things that would be interesting to know if you have read the stories. So honestly, I'm not sure how it's going to turn out, how well it's going to be received, but if you want me to do more, I will be absolutely happy to do that. So I hope that you enjoyed the video. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you is to do with the cast for Vanilla. Up on Wattpad doesn't actually have a cast because I couldn't find good celebrities to play the characters that matched what I had in my head. So I tended to just steer away from the cast and just describe them and let people imagine them how they wanted them to. But it is probably a lesser known fact that when I was in the stages of planning for NaNoWriMo, because this was a NaNoWriMo novel, I don't know where I found them, but I found basically a couple of pictures for a couple of the characters online, and they're not celebrities. I think one of them is literally off like a clothes website and she's a model modelling a t-shirt or something, but I really thought it looked like Flo, so I mean that is probably pretty interesting to see this. So this is what I'm going to show you now. This was the image that I used to base Flo's description off of. Obviously you don't need to imagine her like this. I didn't imagine her perfectly like this. It was just something that I used to like I said, get the description and things like that. So I mean it's pretty interesting to see like a character like in front of you. And this was what I used to help me imagine Erin. I mean it's not perfect because in my head I imagined her hair to be a lot brighter, like a violet. Okay, so I think I've talked about this one before somewhere, but the version of Vanilla that you are familiar with is a long way off what I originally had planned, because I had wanted to write a beach themed story for pretty much ever since reading Along for the Ride by Sarah Dessen. So I originally started planning a story that was based on a British girl, I think she was British, who had to move to a beach town in California, and I started writing it and then I realised pretty quickly that I had no idea what it was like in California. I've never been there. At the time I'd never been to America, still never been to California. So yeah, obviously that was pretty difficult. So at that point it also had a different name. Fun fact, the story was at the time called High Tide. I mean it's an okay title, like I'm not gutted about changing it. So then I replanned the story to be British, and this was when the town of Walden-on-Sea was born, and that setting is a little bit like my baby. I'm really proud of it. Like I've set 2 stories there now and I feel like I could possibly do more, but it took a fair bit of planning. It wasn't always called Walden-on-Sea, and I've just found a bit in my planning notebook where I was trying to come up with the name, so this could be pretty funny. So here we go guys, exclusive sneak preview into the names that were considered. Obviously the ones that I've starred are the ones that I liked the most. I guess Porthaven was a close second. So my last thing that I found, I've just been looking in my planning notebook and I found that I actually had a completely different plot for the entire book when I started the story, and I'd completely forgotten about this. yeah, I guess when I started writing the story, I was going to take it in a really different direction. Obviously, spoiler alert, if you haven't read the book, please, you may want to stop watching this video because you might, it's a spoiler basically. In the original version, I apparently did not make Colette redeem herself at all. She was completely evil, and she apparently tried to frame Flo for stealing money out of the ice cream shop, and I feel like that seems a little bit dramatic now that I've written the story and 2 years in hindsight, and I mean that's a little bit extreme for her character. So this is what happens, you know, when you're in the middle of writing a story and you can completely change the entire plot. Fun fact, apparently the original name I considered for this book, I mean the British, like vanilla-esque version of this story, was Scoop. I feel like that does not have the same ring to it. And for the last bit of the video, I figured we would take a little trip down memory lane and look at the original covers that I've had through the years for this book. So this was the first one. I mean, some people might remember this if you were here from the start. That's one I made myself. And this was the second version of the cover. For some people probably remember this one. I'm not sure if this one ever actually made it as a cover, but it was one that I made myself. Obviously not very good, I'm not a cover maker, so I much prefer the one I've got now. Okay, so that is all I can think of to tell you about Vanilla. I don't think there's really any more secrets about it, so I guess that's the end of the video. Obviously if you enjoyed this, please leave me a comment and leave me a message on my profile telling me that you want me to make more. I mean, I can do them for Trapeze, Room Service, Friendship for Dummies, Camp Runaway, and pretty much anything. I mean, I might refuse to do Serenity Falls, but yeah, I'm completely up for doing some more if you enjoy them. So please let me know. And yeah, hope to see you again soon.